The character I'm doing, or Blender in general?
The modeling.
The modeling is basically subsurface. I mean, basically this is called box modeling. It's process of extrusion. It is it's not nerves. And it isn't splines. I don't like to define something by what it isn't.
It's a subdivision surfaces, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Does everybody know what that means? Or anybody not? Should I field it, or do you want to field it?
Please, go ahead.
Oh.
I'm kind of busy here.
Oh yeah. Well, subdivision surface modeling is essentially polygon modeling, and what every program basically has to do is hit a key, and what it does is it smooths out. It smooths everything out. What it does is it sort of interpolates smooth. It adds more polygons and smooths all the edges of everything. So that would beg the question, perhaps, well, how do you make a corner? And the way you make a corner, the way you make things sharper, is by adding more subdivisions closer together, more polygons, more points, more divisions closer together. So, for example, the little mitt that Darrin's making right there, you see at the wrist, well, there's more of a crease right there because he has two edge loops, as they're called, going around the wrist. Closer together, and the closer he brings another edge loop to it, the more of a tighter a crease it creates. So if, for example, you have start with just a box and you hit whatever key it takes to turn into a subdi surface, it'll turn into virtually a sphere because the box only has these 6 sides, and I don't know the math to know how many points, how many corners that is. So very few very few divisions. So it will make it all seem very, very curvilinear. So it's great for modeling more organic things. How did I do?
I like that.
Okay.
Are you using primarily hotkeys?
Mainly hotkeys, yes. You can use. There are different panels here over on I have them over on the right. The render panel. This one is the editing panel, objects panel, materials or shading.
You set that up with your preference.
Right. I set each. If you remember the one that I showed first, the buttons bar was at the bottom.
Okay.
That's how it comes when you first download this particular version of the software.
Is it relatively easy to create that panel set?
Yes. In fact, I can show you. There's all your preferences and everything. You can just grab that top and pull it all down.
It just seems like a bazillion gray buttons that all look the same. It's scary.
That's what all these softwares look like.
I was going to say, I don't know how you can differentiate it from any other one.
There aren't any pretty icons.
Yeah.
Oh, you want pretty icons. Well, I will show.
Use a Mac.
I will show you the newest beta version, 2.5, and you may like that a little better. And it was done because, and they did it because people complained. They said, you know, yeah, it's open source, but for God's sake, how do I use this damn thing?
How long have you been using it, Darrin? When did you start?
I started about 6 years ago. I began with Lightweight, and well, actually Carrera before that. And I also purchased 3D Studio Max and ZBrush, and I still own all of those. But for some reason, I just keep coming back to Blender, and I'm hoping that by forcing you to watch this, you can begin to see why. It's a program that is incredibly fun to learn, to use, and not any more difficult to learn than any other programs. Maybe the other programs have more cachet and people are more willing to try it because they might earn money with it. But what do you do if you have an idea in your head, if you have something you want to say, and you don't have the money to buy Max or Maya? Do you just give up? I mean, do you just not do it? Well, there are a lot of open source programs that I would argue that could help you make whatever it is you have in your head. So that's kind of what I'm getting up on my high horse here about, is you can do this.
So that's a male character.
What part of the model is that?
I have completed the highly complex modeling of the character.
Anatomically correct.
And now I am rigging the character so that we'll be able to animate it. What I'm going to do is turn on x-axis mirror for...
Now is that his formal dress there?
Yes,
Nice.
yes.
Is he going to work? What is that?
What is what?
Oh.
Tie.
Wait for it.
And his mustache.
That's the problem with doing this with imaginative people around.
Oh, can I just interrupt?
Please.
There's the actual mesh. What he just showed there, that is what will render. If he were to convert the sub-D mesh that you see at this moment, a second ago it turned all white and there are a whole bunch more polygons.
Yes.
Yeah, that is the detail level at which it will eventually render. The great thing about sub-D modeling is you can make nice curved surfaces with much less detail in the model.
Which means much less processor time.
Yeah, well, yes, but also when you're manipulating it, a lot fewer points and polygons that you have to grab and change and modify. If you're working with a very highly detailed mesh and you're trying to change aspects of it, it just takes so much longer to grab all the points and make sure everything's smooth. And there's an unlimited number of tasks that you have to do to a model. And if you can reduce the detail of the mesh and work with that, then that's the whole reason for sub-D surface.
So now we have created a character and rigged it in what, 15 minutes? Does that seem like a program that's hard to use? That's my point.
Just the guys using it for 60 minutes.
Does he have IK goals and all that stuff already?
I'm sorry?
Is it IK? Does he have IK set up and everything?
Almost. No, that's what I'm doing.
Oh.
Come on, give me a break. Jeez. Okay, let me just name a few things here because I'll need these. They always tell you to name the bones of your rig. It does help, especially when you're about to set them up for IK. So I'm going to quickly do that.